All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of Nigerian Exchange Limited, I warmly welcome you all to today's Facts Behind the Offer presentation by Ellah Lakes Plc. It's a pleasure to have you all join us today for what promises to be an insightful and engaging session with Ellah Lakes Plc. Shortly before we go on, I have two requests. First is, may I please crave your indulgence to please move forward if perhaps there is an empty seat in front of you, just so we make space for people that will probably come in later on. Please, if you have an empty seat right in front of you, please make adjustments to please just move forward. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Now, just before we go on, as it is our usual practice at the exchange, may I please ask that we turn our eyes to the screens as we listen to the housekeeping rules and observe the safety protocols. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nigerian Exchange Group Event Center. At Nigerian Exchange Group, your comfort and safety is our priority. As part of our health and safety policy, please listen to the following announcement. For your convenience, the restrooms are located to your right, just outside the door of this event hall. In the unlikely event of an emergency, 2 exits have been provided for your use. A stairway that you can access from the lift lobby just before you enter the event center. Another emergency exit is located right behind the stage's backdrop. The door can be opened by pushing the handle. Please do not use the elevators during an emergency. Rather, locate the nearest exit from where you are sitting in a calm and orderly fashion. Emergency responders will also be available to provide additional instructions as required. Please switch off your cell phones or activate the silent function so we don't interrupt the proceedings here today. Once again, welcome, and do enjoy your stay at Nigerian Exchange Group.
There you have it. Again, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon one more time. And thank you all for joining us for this Facts Behind the Offer presentation by Ellah Lakes Plc. Let me also welcome the people joining us virtually. It is great to have everyone join us at this time. Today, Ellah Lakes will be taking us through the details of its current offer, and that is going live today. I guess it's already live. The strategic objectives behind it and how the capital raise aligns with the company's broader vision for growth and value creation. But please, before we go on, at this time, I'd like to recognize the management of NGX and Ellah Lakes on the podium. Starting with Nigerian Exchange Limited, we have the Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Exchange Limited, Mr. Jude Chiemeka. Please put your hands together for him. Next to him is the Chief Executive Officer, NGX Regulation, Mr. Femi Shobanjo. Thank you. Next to him is the Head Primary Markets, Mr. Tony Beziako. Thank you. And we have the Doyen of the Markets, Mr. Simon Data. And from the management of Ellah Lakes Plc, we have the Managing Director and CEO, Ellah Lakes Plc, Mr. Chuka Modi. Thank you. Next to him is the Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Paul Farrer. Thank you. And we have the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Ewart Benson. Thank you for joining us. Also joining us today is the CEO of CSCS, Mr. Aruna Jallo Waziri. Thank you, sir. Next to him is the Chairman Ashon, who is also a Director of Nigerian Exchange Group, Mr. Seinde Adenabe. We also have the President of CIS, Mr. Oluropu Dada. Thank you for joining us today. And we have Mr. Abimbola Babalola, the Head Trading and Products. We also have the Head Technology Operations, Mr. Tolulope. Thank you for joining us. From the management of Ellah Lakes, we also have the Director, Mr. Kufo Majekodumi. Thank you for joining us today. And we have the Director as well, Dr. Evans Japa Jones. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, having done with that segment, may I please request for the welcome address the CEO of Nigerian Exchange Limited, Mr. Jude Chiemeka, for his opening address. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Didoen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed my pleasure to welcome you to the NGX for the facts behind the offer of Ellah Lakes. Typically, we'll have this speech to read out, talking about the exchange, and also talking about all the many things the capital market does. But today looks like a blue day, as Ellah Lakes have come in their blue color. I hope I'm compliant myself. But Ellah Lakes is not a new company at all. If anything, it's an old company. It's been listed since 1970. And that's really a testimony to the fact that the capital market is a long-term play. And they've taken advantage of it. And they are now in the market again to raise additional capital to augment what they're doing. And they will talk to the market about what the offer is about. But just to point out, this particular sector where they play is very critical to the national development of the economy because it addresses food security. And also, if you think about the percentage of the GDP the sector occupies, close to 24%. So a lot of the labor that we do, the country, really half of it in terms of employment comes from this particular sector. So they are really critical to the government. And if you think about what has happened in terms of the figures, since 2020 to 2024, this sector has paid over 121 billion naira to the federal government as taxes, right? And in terms of the value of trades that have happened in the market, 7.2 trillion in that same period, this particular sector have traded 119 billion, which is about 12% of the total value of trades that have happened in the market. And this really accounts for the level of liquidity that they have. So they come into the market today is just to take advantage of the pool of capital that does exist in our markets, which is really huge. Year to date, the market has traded in excess of 4.3 trillion naira in terms of the secondary market. And when the market itself has been quite active this year. If we think about what has happened between now and October, we've been able to raise 7.3 trillion naira across the different asset classes. So we're really delighted that Ellah Lakes is here, and a true testament to the strength and resilience for our capital markets. And I'm going to ask you to please, because of their age, let's give them a resounding round of applause. The NGS remains a viable platform for companies to raise capital. And we have a lot of people here in the room today, but I do recognize that we also have different channels and different touch points of reaching the NGX. So we do recognize those that are joining us online. We thank you. And for those that are here, we thank you. And I'll ask you to pay close attention to what Ellah Lake will be presenting to us and try and make it as interactive as possible. I have no doubt at all, given their longevity in the market, given their commitment, the level of management that they have, that they will continue to be here in the long term. And so it's always a good time to take advantage and buy cheap now while you can, because just looking at what has happened in the secondary market, you may not be able to find the shares at this low price post the offer. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll give all the time to Ellah Lakes to really explain the facts behind the offer. Thank you.
It is now time for the crux of the meet. May I please welcome the CEO of Ellah Lakes, Mr. Chuka Modi, for his presentation. Please put your hands together for him.
This is the, what do I press to change? Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for making the time to be with us this afternoon. I can see some very supportive brokers in the house, and I want to say thank you very much for being here with us this evening. We have a presentation to make. I just want to talk through the facts behind the public offer that we're starting today. It's 235 billion naira. I think we have a presentation that I'm going to go through for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll have the time for a Q&A session. I have our CFO with us, Mr. Hewitt Benson, Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Paul Farah, and I think we'll be happy to make this a very interactive session, take all the questions that I think you and I are looking forward to discussing and talking about. So I think what I'll do is try and go through this presentation as quickly as we can, talk through the salient facts or the different aspects of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve in the Nigerian agribusiness sector, and we can take the questions straight immediately afterwards. So as you all know, I think Ellah Lakes has been listed for a very long time, and I'm very hopeful that, as Mr. Jude Chiemeka said, this is the last time that you get the chance to buy us at this cheap price. I think what we're trying to do, and we've tried to articulate to the public over the last few years that we've been back in the market since the Telluria reverse takeover, is trying to build a long-term viable agribusiness in Nigeria that is very sustainable. We've gone into oil palm, and we're diversifying into livestock. So in the last year, we've installed our palm oil mill, a crude palm oil mill, so we're now finally productive. And I'd like to think we keep to our promises. Over the last 3 years, we've been engaging in deploying our CapEx. We've been planting over the last 3 years, and this financial year, we finally achieved turnover and revenue. So I'm very, very grateful for the shareholders who have stayed with us over the long term. We've also diversified into livestock. By the end of the year, we should have 1,500 pigs on our piggery. And I think in the short to medium term, by the end of next year, we're on course already to become the largest integrated piggery in Nigeria. We have a diversified shareholding. This basically shows the timeline of where we've been over the last 5 years. As the CEO said, we've been listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange for a very significant period. But I think the new Ellah Lakes, as it is, has been around for the last 5 years since we took over with new management. And I mean, this just basically shows how long it's taken us to get to revenue and the transaction we're about to engage in and what that means for the shareholders of Ellah Lakes Plc. I think the nature of our board is in the public domain, our management, and this presentation is basically going to be available for everyone to have after this meeting. Our immediate strategic roadmap, there's a phase 1 capital raise of 235 billion naira. There's a phase 2, which is the acquisition, which we expect to close before the end of the year. And phase 3 is over the next 5 years, which is the integration of both businesses and the long-term sustainable growth that we're trying to engage in. As many of you would know, ARPN, Agro-Allied Resource and Processing Nigeria Limited, has 22,000 hectares of land in Edo State. Half of this has been cultivated already. We signed the term sheet with ARPN in July of this year, and over the next 3 months subsequent to that, engaged in just negotiations for the sale and purchase agreement. So all the definitive agreements were signed in October, We've been through SEC, we've got our regulatory approvals, so we've had our approvals from the Securities and Exchange Commission, we've had our approvals from the Competition Commission, so I think this is the final stage of trying to get through our public offer, which we expect to close by the end of the year. An overview of the company. Over the last 4 years, they've cultivated just over 6,000 hectares of land. We expect that in the next 3 years, we should do exactly the same and cultivate an additional 11,000 hectares of land, which is part of this acquisition. It's located in Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State. So we're right in the middle of the oil palm belt, which is the best climatic conditions for growing oil palm in Nigeria. I think we're trying to increase value through the backward integration and forward linkages that we've tried to engage in over the last 4 years. So as you can see, we're in the primary side of agribusiness. We've already started milling the product. So I think in terms of forward linkages, industrial transformation is part of our core agenda, and we expect we should do that over the next 2 to 5 years. We've made a lot of progress in this transaction. This was the fastest planting of 6,000 hectares in Nigeria. It was done over the course of less than 24 months. So in 2 years, 6,200 hectares was planted. We expect to do the same thing over the next 2 years in 2026 and in 2027. So we should have a fully integrated business by then. This acquisition is very value accretive to us. It brings cash flow onto the balance sheet immediately. So by the first year of operations, we expect that we should be doing revenues of 24 billion naira. This is in the first year of operation as an integrated company. Within the next 5 years, I think I'll go back to the investment positions of Ellah Lakes and try to show what the industry has done over the last 5 years in Nigeria. I'll make a last reference to Mr. Chemika's comments about our share price. Presco listed at 4 naira. They're now trading at 1,400 naira. And I think it's an indication of the nature of quality businesses that are coming into the sector on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the amount of value that we think is possible to deliver to shareholders. I don't think this is immediate. I think it's possible over the medium to long term. So as I've always said, anytime I'm in the public domain, it is important that we have shareholders who understand the long-term value that we're trying to bring, that it is accretive in the long term, and that's what we're trying to achieve. The combined financial performance of Ellah Lakes and ARPN over the next 5 years, we expect that post the acquisition, we'll have a total land bank of 34,000 hectares. In the next 5 years, we expect to be going towards 200 billion naira in terms of our revenue. We have a strong, diversified business with oil palm, crops, cash crops, and also livestock. We've had to answer a lot of questions from our shareholders over the last 5 years about the nature of dividends. And I said to everyone that from when we started in 2020 with COVID in 2021 and 2022, that we expect inside the next 5 years, we should be paying dividends. And I think given the nature of our transaction and where we are after the last 5 years, from where we expect to be next year, that I think we can make a commitment to shareholders that we intend to start paying dividends from next year once we're cash flow positive. Thank you very much. I like to think that I've not made that statement for a very long time, but this is the first time I'm making it, that we are making a commitment to paying dividends to our shareholders. I think the last slide of the presentation, which I was yet to go through. So this is effectively is the proposed public offer. We're issuing 18.8 billion new shares of 50 kobo each. The price of the offer is 12 naira 50 kobo per share, and we're looking to raise 235 billion naira. The proceeds are dedicated to paying for the acquisition, growing the business, acquiring a new CPO mill, a crude palm oil mill. Post doing that, the plan for the long-term strategic direction is to go into value-added sectors. So we intend to get a mill, scale up the mill, get a refinery, and go all the way up the value chain at Ellah Lakes Plc. I'd like to say thank you very much for making the time to listen to us, and we're happy to take questions on all aspects of this presentation. Thank you very much.
put your hands together for him again. That was such a straight-to-the-point presentation. All right, it is now time for us to take questions. Please, if you have questions for the management of Ellah Lakes Plc, may I please ask that you raise your hand a little bit above your head. Okay, I see hands. The mics, please. The roving mic.
My name is Okezia Boniface. I'm the National Chairman, Progressive Shareholder Association of Nigeria. MDCO Chikamode, we have heard from you. You have said it all. I want to ask, the new Ellah Lakes, I hope it's not going to be like the one of the fisheries that we invested in the past. To date, we never have dividend. Since you are joining the lives of the Presco now, that's a new business, new outlook, and the Okumos of this world, are you going to be like them? Are you going to trail in behind them? That's the question I'm posing to you, and I need a response at the end of the day. So that when others are clapping, I didn't clap until seeing is believing. Until I see the trajectory, where you're going, the shareholders who have been over 10 years thereabout, or above that, who have not received any dividend. Thank God for the market that, you came up to be trading about 10 naira, 11, 12 naira thereabout, Maybe people who bought at the lower price were able to make some money. Thank God for the market. But today, the offer you are coming out, 12 naira, 50 kobo, against market price. I think by today, I don't know what is 11 naira. Is that good for the market? Why must the offer price above the current market trading? Because this is a change. There's no way you can manipulate it to hide the price. No. The market trade based on information you have. And if anything contrary, the market will not accept it. So at least the market should have been cheaper to compensate people who are coming in. If it have given it 11.50, should have been the idea for me, so that people will patronize it and keep. See what you are doing. I don't know the breed you are planting, because today plantations will have a good breed, like we call Malaysia. At least 1 year, you start yielding fruit. It's not a longer time something, or 5 years or 3 years. No, within 1 year, and they are yielding fruit already, and one can stay. Say, okay, we can make money investing in a plantation. Since you abandon fisheries now, and also the piggery you are going is also another spinning market business. I commend you for those visions, but I hope it will translate to higher dividend and higher capital appreciation, so that's the things people looked at, and it's critical issue when it will come. But you can't pay those things when you are deficit, because that already have eaten deep into the books. But I believe that this is you are into now, we're able to wipe out the losses of many years and able to have a healthy company that we can be proud of, a healthy balance sheet. Maybe the NGS will now list you a premium. I don't know the class you are now, So these are things. Because when you are coming here, you are now exposing yourself to the world, the public. The era have gone where you bring goat, come and sell the floors, okay, change. And when they bought the goat, pay the money, will disappear in the TA. Information about you will be static. It will not be forthcoming. So that you need to have a change of heart in relating to the members of the public, investing public, You need also show us the way you are by coming here, whether you are doing good or doing bad. Let us see you, not disappearing for the TA.
Thank you, sir.
Please let me finish, okay? That should not be the idea anymore. So we pray that this new venture now, we're able to establish fully and give returns back to the investing public. I want to commend you, and your management will be reachable. One thing I want you to, I'm going to drop the mic. Please. One thing I want you to do, because we have asked this in the past, take us to this site. Let us see. the stockbrokers, the shareholders key, arrange a visit to this site of your new operation. Let us go and see. I will report back to the market. They listen to us. We cannot blow the trumpet on your behalf that yes, we have gone, we have seen. A lot of companies have done it. When people say we don't know where they're operating, what are they even doing in the first place? They can't come here and tell us paperwork. We're in this and plantation, 100 hectares, this and that. We want to go and see those sites and verify for ourselves. They will come back and they go, shareholders, is it not true? Yes. That is the way to go. I know Benson very. Benson knows me when he came to Kumato's company, but he tried, even though that company had never paid dividend before he ceremoniously exited that company. But when he was Ancon, he was not our friend then, But I believe Benson being here today, he knows the market, he's a friend. And even when I saw him, he moved, he didn't recognize me, I don't know. So I believe totally that being there on this board, okay, we're going to have a lot to call him to give account of what this company is doing. If no other person, I will hold Benson responsible. If Chika run away from me, I can't be seeing him, but I will hold Benson. So I believe that new Ellah Lakes will be a new company through to the award, because we are not swimming now in the lake of fish. We are not swimming in the lake of plant plantation. That is the way to go, because Nigeria is no more important from the people who stole the seed from us and go back to, and they are exporting to the whole world. So let us tell them that we can do it. It can happen here, so that we can know where to pay tax. Chemeka was analyzing how much tax we paid. If the company is doing well, 10% is take off from the shareholder proceeds for dividend, we shall pay tax. The company also pay tax. So we all pay tax to Nigeria. No incentive. That's the problem we are having. So I pity all of you. God will help us. Thank you.
May I please ask that the next person please keep your questions really brief so we're able to accommodate enough questions as possible. Next person, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Ibekwe Roberts Adenoba. I'm a shareholder. I want to thank NGX. First of all, I want to thank NGX because they have made a lot of issues regarding shares very seamless. Just yesterday, in fact, it was in the night that I had to buy into shares, an offer that is going on. In the comfort of my room, I had to buy it. And I look forward that it will be the same thing with Ellah Lake. Sir, Mr. Chika Mode, I have questions for you. The question is, first of all, why is it that you are doing only public offer? We have a lot of shareholders who want to key in. You would have considered hybrids, possibly giving right issue to the existing shareholders and make up others from public. I am saying so because if you go to the public, it's like going to, like the Israelites going to the Pharaoh that they didn't know, or Moses going to the Pharaoh that he didn't know. If you had allowed shareholders, all shareholders, to key in through rights and some for public, it would have been very beautiful. So that is something that I don't know how we are going to do. The second question is the pricing. Definitely you did mention something, starting from the CEO of NGS, that if we don't get it now, we may be begging for it. In the sector where you belong, is a sector that is even stronger now than the oil and gas. Because what we have in that sector, the byproducts we have in that sector, that is palm oil, is higher, better, and more than what we have from crude oil. So it's a fantastic sector that those who want to key in now, we have a lot to thank God for. But still, the price, if you are to say of the price, stock that is opening today 10th and closing on 5th of December. How will the pricing go? As of today, I checked the platform, it's 11 naira 60 kobo. So you can see the difference. A company that is still ongoing, proposed rights and public. The right is what used to be, where you have rights, you can trade on your rights and you have benefits. So, I don't know. This pricing, I don't know how it can be readjusted. It cannot be. I don't know. That's the question, the statement I made. It cannot be readjusted. But definitely, for me and shareholders of like minds, it is a bit high. But we are going to come in. We are going to come in. My fear is the public. If you had done hybrid, whereby all shareholders can take their rights, and the new ones coming in, it would have been fantastic. So I don't know how you did your consultation, but I wish you the best. As for me, as an individual, I'm still going to come in, take some. I wish us the very best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's add one more question. There's an hand behind.
The chairman, the team from Ellah Lakes. Interestingly, this is the second time that Ellah Lakes is coming in my short history in the market. The first time was when Senator Francis Ellah came and introduced the company. And now we have a new Francis in Modi. But my area of concern first is the fact that you talked about cash crop. Is it as distinct from the palm itself, or which other crops are you hoping to introduce, talking about the cash crop? The second one that I also think some clarification will be necessary for people to understand your 2 years in dividend coming is that the variety of palm tree that we are planting, what is the fruition stage? How many years does it need to grow before it begins to produce fruits? Because it's from the fruits that you get the palm oil. So I hope it's something that you also speak to. I also find the analogy around what Presco and Okomo is doing. And the reason I'm curious around it is the fact that if you look at even the banking subsector, all of them basically look for cash. And the cash they get, they give other people on loan and make money. Is it that all palm companies in every location in the world profitable? Because it may also help the understanding of this, the presentation. I wish there was a little more of flow in the presentation, because I saw that you were moving from one page to the other. But that notwithstanding, one of the major challenges that I also think that you need to address, yes, this team is not the team that you had probably earlier. This is not your first time of making an attempt to go into business of this nature. I don't have a problem with people failing. But it may be necessary that you also give some assurance that, some of the things that didn't make it happen where you wanted to be earlier are things that you have learned lessons from, and you are going to apply them to make sure that it also doesn't happen here. And I say this with all due respect. because if you look globally, you're going to find that some persons make mistakes, and they find it very difficult in living above those mistakes. Some persons make mistakes, and then they live far ahead of the mistakes that they have made. Because whether you want it or not, as the chief shepherd of Ellah Lakes, quite a number of persons will also ask, where are you coming from? That would be my observations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we've had enough questions for this round. Can I have responses to these questions? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very, very much for those extremely interesting questions. I think, number one, I think it's important to note that, as a number of speakers have said, we are the new Ellah Lakes. Ellah Lakes was listed a very long time ago. But I think it's important to make some very salient points. As you mentioned, sir, this is not our first time at this table in the last few years. The last time we were here, 5 years ago, we had an insolvent company. We had just taken over an Ellah Lakes that had not generated any revenue for the past few years, that did not have a balance sheet that was viable. So I think it's important to note the growth that we have made over the last 4 years. And 5 years ago when we started and I sat at this table, I said, any shareholder who expected revenues inside the next 4 years should please sell their shares. That's what I said. But I said it would take us 4 years of planting in order to start our growth and get to a place where we could have a new trajectory. And I think we're at that place now. We started reporting revenues this year. I always said we would look at viable M&A opportunities, and if we saw one that was that made sense to us in terms of the numbers, we would do it. And we've seen that, and that's why we're back here. But I think it's important to address some of the questions that the gentlemen have raised during the course of this session. So I think there are two things. In terms of the stockbroker's visit, I think 3.5 months ago, we were trading at 2.55 kobo, and no one understood what we were doing. When you say we should have a stockbroker's visit, we have had a stockbroker's visit that was very publicized, and I think that was what led to the change in our pricing in the market, because people recognize how much we have actually planted, the nature of our oil mill. We were not on social media, but we went on Twitter and Instagram, and people recognized, oh, we actually have an oil mill that has started producing palm oil this year. So yes, we had that visit. We have publicized what we do. We've had some shareholder visits also, along with the stockbrokers visit. But we intend to do that again in Q1 next year and in Q3 next year, to do it regularly so the market understands what we're doing and there's more visibility around our activity. So, I mean, thank you very much for that suggestion, but we intend to do it as regularly as we can. I expect once a quarter at the very minimum to just keep the market up to date with what we're doing. So I'd like you to note that we've taken that suggestion on board, but we're actually trying to engage in that as much as possible. On the special breed of oil palm, I think it's public knowledge. An oil palm tree takes at least 4 years to start to germinate and produce viable fresh fruit bunches. That, at the present time, is the best we have in the market, and that's what we're doing. I think we have the most, for our climate and for where we live and for what we do, we have engaged in a lot of R&D, and we think we're doing the best in terms of palm oil and oil palm bunch trees that we're planting. So we're very confident in the future. We're very happy with what we're doing. And I think we've been very, very careful about what we've been planting and what we're trying to do, and in trying to grow our land bank and in trying to cultivate our oil palm. So I note your concerns, but I'd like to say that we are very, very deliberate about what we're doing, and that's why we're so confident about coming to the market at this time. So I hope I've taken care of all your questions. And if there are any supplementary questions, I'm happy to answer them after we finish. And Mr. Ibekwe talked about the hybrids, which is what I wanted to address that with the planting, but also about the pricing. And I think it's a very, very important point. how we priced this offer was based on what we felt was the intrinsic value of the acquisition that we're making, the amount of revenue it has already, and the amount of revenue that it would make next year. So it is very, very, very value accretive to Ellah Lakes PLC. I expect the market will recognize this, and I expect where the market will go in terms of pricing. But I think it's important to understand some things. We have just over 3 billion shares in issue. We're raising 18 billion new shares. So any substantial shareholder who wants to buy will have to come from the new issue, not the old issuance of shares. So my expectation is the share prices will at some point converge, and we should have a very successful public offer. But we went through a long, significant process of due diligence, of assessing. The due diligence was done by Deloitte, by PwC, Oak Legal, Dentons. So a significant number of professionals in the industry who give us advice on what we're doing. And so I'm very confident about our pricing, and I'm very confident about placing it at this particular price in the market. Yeah. Were there comments you wanted to make? Okay. Happy to take the next set of questions.
All right, so let's hear from this other side of the room. Perhaps are there any questions from this side of the room, from the broker side? I see a hand raised here, please.
Thank you very much. The MD, I welcome you to NGX. First thing I want to let you know that agro-business is if you have started production, is it entirely from your farm or you source from elsewhere? That's number one. Number two, the one from your firm, I want to advise, because of the trend in palm oil business. People do go there in the night to harvest, stealing your produce. How do you ward off this kind of beverage? Because it will be a serious damage to your success. That's number two. Number three, your price, like you maybe rightly mentioned, slept for a very long time in the market. Deep sleep until you now came in. And I want to find out from you, I hope this price will not slip again after taking public funds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other question? Do we have? Okay, there's one other on that side.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jesu Demilade. I'm an investor representative. So I followed your presentation, right? And what struck my eye was the ARPN acquisition. I note that Ellah Lakes is a relatively small company, so I want to know how you were able to land such a huge transaction. That's my question.
All right. Thank you. Can we now have responses to these questions? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll answer first on the production. So, number one, straightforward. All the CPO we've produced this year and all the milling is directly from what we've planted over the last 4 years. So that is all our production. We have not done any outsourcing yet. It does not mean that we don't plan to, but there's no reason to do so yet. On the stealing, yes, of course that happens, but it's a question of security. So we outsource to local vigilantes, we have local hunters, and we have detachment of mobile policemen from the Nigerian police force. So it's a combination of policing and then the local environment. So any environment we're in, we have community liaison officers from the local communities. So I think it's important to be integrated with the communities that we work with. So everywhere we're planting, we have vigilantes, we have hunters, but we have representatives from the local communities working with us. And I think that's probably the most important part in terms of working on the security. On the pricing, I think, like I said earlier, the pricing is a function of the significant financials on the acquisition that we're making. And I mean, our CFO is here, Mr. Hewitt Benson, so I'd like him to make a few comments on that also. Hewitt.
I think before I go any further, I better recognize in full Mr. Boniface Okezie. I didn't ignore you. I said hello, so please don't take that against me. Before I also go further, I think a lot of people were recognized at the start, you know, but I have to recognize my boss when I first came back to the country for a lot of what I have learned. He's the chairman of the FMDQ group, Dr. Jubelaku. I think we left him out, so I can't do that. He was my first boss at Citibank, so I must, if I go amiss. In terms of, and I think Chuka left this out in terms of processing capability. On our farm, we do have a 5-ton mill. It does have significant capacity. And the timing of this offer, I think, is ripe because it has taken 3-4 years for our seedlings to become harvestable, if such a word exists. So the price of our income, if you look at our balance sheet or our income statement, should increase significantly. I don't think we saw the projections properly, but processed oil and selling fresh fruit bunches, there's a big differential. There's a multiplication factor of 4 or 5. That is where we're going. This acquisition that we're doing, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun, Chuka, but you can wink at me if I jump the gun a bit. But the acquisition that we're doing is at the same stage of development that we are at. So it's a scalable transaction. By the time we also plant CPO mill there, revenues will achieve what we have put there. So I think people need to understand that. Now, the market, I think, has understood that because they have built that in the price that they have pitched for. So the market doesn't tell a lie. People foresee where it's going to go to, and they take a punt. And that is what has happened in driving the price significantly up. Now, prices go up, they come down. I know I don't know who said whether it's Boniface that the price is below the offer price at the moment. But look, the price is fluctuating at the moment. But as Chuka mentioned, whether you have access to the quantity that you're looking for at the price that we're at, which is extremely good. I mean, if you look at what we're acquiring, you will see that everything is priced attractively. It is not a premium. We have spent good money. We argued in paying the likes of Deloitte, PwC, to do their due diligence. So there's reference. Before I came in here, a director asked me, the pricing of what we're acquiring, how was that arrived at? Was it just a stab in the dark? Absolutely not. It was guided. And I think speculators have built that in to them bidding for our price. So the price is definitely, personally, I think it's at a discount as to where it should really be. And we got good advice in arriving at this lower figure. So I think it'll go a lot more. I hope I've not overspoken. Chuka.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we tried to address as much of the questions as we could with information which is in the public domain. I think with the presentation we made, there's some aspects of it we can talk about publicly, and we're going to. But like I said, in our first full year of production, we expect to make revenues of 24 billion naira. And I think that's a very, very significant jump from where we are at the present time. And if you factor in 24 billion naira into what we're trading at the present time and our post-acquisition shares in issue, I think this is 12 naira 50 kobo is a very, very good price. I mean, of course, I would say this because I'm the CEO, but 12 naira 50 kobo is ground entry for anyone. And as Jude said, I don't expect that we will trade at this level anytime in the near future going forward, because once we close this transaction, it's a very transformational change in terms of the nature of Ellah Lakes Plc.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for the management of Ellah Lakes Plc. Now, for the closing remarks, let me please invite the doyen of the markets, Mr. Sam Ndata, for the closing remarks. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank the Nigerian Exchange Group for organizing this platform for Ellah Lakes Plc to come and express themselves. And I'm happy that Ellah Lakes Plc is coming here today to address the market. Well, I'll say that talk runs like a mad dog. I want to say one thing before I continue on the other things I've jotted down. Please, like Boniface Okeze has said, if you want to do factory visit, please meet the CEO and the broker-dealer department and make sure you contact the doyen. Because it's not roadshow, it's factory visit. There are active people that raise in the market that make price on your product, your shares on a daily basis. You don't just bring in any person to go and do this thing. Somebody that was not there when somebody was buried, if he's asking to go and assume it, he will start from the wrong side of it. When you did their factory visit, did you see my face? Did you see the senior doyen's face? You see, what I'm telling you now is that if you want to do something, you have to do it properly. When Alili was instituting this factory visit, I was there, and I know the only person among us that I can remember was Nonawo. He specifically said, this is how it will be organized. These people who will go for this thing. Traders who are actively on the floor. Even if you want to put your name, they will ask you, when did you trade last on the floor? But now, it's just, we are making it as roadshow. Because if they come back, nobody's moving your price, nobody's giving active distinct price to what they have seen. Because they are not the people who are supposed to be there. You didn't see the doing, you didn't ask question, and you are saying you did factory visit. Which factory visit? Please, take note. Well, I will say there's no, like I told you before, there's no long speech for evening's service. I want to thank you for coming, and I know you have a very good agro-business to do, because I know that you have the skill, and you can move this, you have the skill and you have the passion to move this business forward. I know that the goat is sweating, but the bears in the body will not allow the onlooker to see the sweat. I know you are doing well, and like Nana had pointed out, when Senator Francis Ellah came here to list this, we didn't know that it will last like this, because no, so many people didn't take him serious. And we thank God that the team is still surviving. And I know you have a viable business and a good product. And like what I was taught, that good business advertises itself. You don't need to advertise this business because it is good. I know it is good, and the brokers know that you are doing a good business. When you are asking questions, you are expecting so many hands from the broker side because they are the one you are coming to talk to. But you do see so many hands from the broker side because they know what you are doing. They understand their business. When you see a child crying and pointing hand at a particular direction, if the father is not there, the mother must be there. You look at that direction properly. The people who are financing this business, they are pointing that for a while now they have not eaten. They have not taken dividend. And you are saying, we will do it. In 2 years, 3 years, we will do it. Yes, it's becoming monkey meat. They say monkey meat is sweet when it is dry. What will we be eating to wait for the meat to dry? So you better do something fast. They've waited enough. They like you, that's why they are here supporting you. The animal, this animal that we are here to butcher, it's not the type we have not killed before. We have killed it before. That's why we know how to butcher it. Please, advice is not a cost. What we are telling you is that make amend and you move forward. And I see that MBC and other financial advisor that is advising you, they are seasoned sub-brokers. They know what they are doing. I don't know why you are not consulting them constantly to advise you and move you forward. Please, MBC, if you are here, please, make hay while the sun shines. We don't want to hear excuses next time when Ellah Lakes comes here. When they come here, we want to hear the type of dividend they want to pay to shareholders. They've waited enough. And Ellah Lake, I know your shares will be oversubscribed because people are aware of what we are doing. And I know how brokers behave. The moment we finish there, I know they will go out to market this product and make sure that you excel in what you are doing. Take yourself serious, and other people will take you serious. Here end my catechism for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And on Doyen's catechism notes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring this facts behind the offer to a close. A very big thank you to everyone for joining us today. It was great having everyone join us today, and we hope to see you some other time at the exchange. Until next time, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen.